and welcome everybody to Q&A with the Hombre. Getting my dancing in here on Monday afternoon. Hopefully you guys all had a great weekend and had some great tequila. And hopefully you've received your Cazcanes, because today we're doing the Cazcanes sip-along. So hopefully you guys have your Cazcanes out. And please welcome to our broadcast, John Paul Fortunati from Cazcanes. Now, John Paul, you guys couldn't see him, but he was doing a little dancing too. So we're gonna turn some music up so we can show you guys some moves. Go ahead, let's see it. Come on, John. Come on, let's see this.
I'm not gonna steal the show from you.
Oh, come on. All right.
I had a good time watching you dance.
I'm sure you did. He always likes making fun of me.
No, not at all.
All right, let's go check in with our members and see who we got with us today. Todd, of course, Todd. How can we not have Todd here? What's that?
Todd.
Let's turn that off. There we go. That's weird.
Still working the bugs out.
Yeah, let me see. Why is that not coming up? Let me see. All right, hold on. It was working fine. I gotta turn the timer off. Oh, that's why. There we go. All right, let's see if this works now. Nope. Let me see, where is it?
As long as nothing explodes when it gets down to that 0 there, we're good.
Oh, here, this is why. Okay, there we go. All right, so Todd's here. He's God. That was weird. Why does he keep going back to that? Hold on. Let's put this on 3. There we go. Okay. Let's turn 2 off. Okay. Why does it keep... Let's see if this will work now. Nope. Interesting. Share it with friends. Where's that coming from?
Your new toy.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't have problems with this before. Let me see what's going on. Why is it... That's set right. This is our first interview, so I haven't had a chance to work out all the bugs on this part, but it shouldn't be showing. Let me assign that to a different. Here, let me see if that helps. All right, let's try this again. Nope. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me see if this helps. What was that? Okay, well, I'm just going to have to read them and not put them up on screen because I don't know what's going on. I'll have to fix that later. So, Todd Gilbert says he's sipping on Still Strength Blanco and his eyes are really big. Silos P says hello. Stephen L says hola, hombre. Alejandro Marquez says hello.
How you guys doing?
Efrit says hello. Shaman says thumbs up. Click. Let's talk tequila. Alejandro says time to get Cazcanes bottles out. I will try the Repo, then the Still Strength, and it's going on the alcohol content later. Is that what you guys recommend? I tend to do that with bourbon.
What is
that? What you recommend? Try the Repo first, which is lower.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's typically what I would. I mean, usually start with a lower proofs. I mean, usually you would do with a Blanco, right? Move your way up, but the Repo and the Standard Añejo are 80 proof. So
yeah,
that's a good play. There's no right or wrong answer, but
see if I can get this to work. Let me see if we can get this to work. Nope. I don't know why it's doing that. It's weird. Let's see. Turn that off. Turn that off. I don't know why this thing is... It's supposed to automatically feed this stuff here, and I want to get this stuff on the screen, but it's not doing it. So let me see if I can do it from my normal screen, if that makes a difference here. All right, let's see. Nope. All right. Well, guys, the comments isn't working, so I'm going to have to just read them until I figure out what's going on with this stuff. New software package. All right.
What's the advantage of the software package, Mark?
It's better, functions better, it does a lot of better things. So it gives me more power. So Cardoza says, what's up, hombre? Ubaldo says, hola, amigos. Cardoza says, those shirts are cool. He likes your cool. He likes your shirt.
That's kind of shirt. Thanks.
A Blanco number 10 is spectacular. It's like drinking a baked agave pie with cinnamon and nutmeg. That's what Todd says.
That sounds great.
So, which one did you start with today, John Paul?
I have a little bit of Hoven in my glass here. I just thought I'd try that, but I'll move over to the still strength soon.
Yeah, I'm starting with the still strength.
Are you? I only have a little bit of the Hoven left, so I'll move on over to that in a second. This Hoven's great.
I love the still strength. I started the Hoven, and it's like, I got how much left?
Got only a little bit left, yeah.
Yeah. Same with the extra añejo. Extra añejo's.
Ooh, that's going quick.
Yeah.
You have some more coming in, don't you? Tomorrow, I think.
I do. Yeah, I ordered some more. So, Alejandro wants to know, where did the name Cazcanes come from? Is it a last name?
No, it's not. It's a name of indigenous people that were from the region where the distillery is. So it's they were the last. Some people in folklore say that they were the only people, they're only indigenous people not to be conquered by the Spaniards, but as we all know, that's not true. Everyone was conquered by them. So, but the Cazcanes were the last to be conquered by the Spaniards. So, and it was one of the longest and costliest battles that the Spaniards had. So they at one point did consider giving up the battle, but ultimately everybody succumbed to the Spaniards. But they have a fighting spirit, and so it's kind of like, it's one of our taglines, like the unconquerable spirit. So that because they're from the region that our distillery is why we chose that name.
Does that make sense, Alejandro? Todd says he needs a Cazcanes t-shirt, so
we're making these. I think we made like less than 5. It was just for one of the I think it was the Monterey Bay Tequila Festival we just did, and then the LA Tequila Festival. We made these, but we'll make some that we can sell and give away. We're working on that.
Cool. I'll get some, Todd, and give some away to members and stuff. So we'll get t-shirts to you guys. Whatever John Paul will give me.
Yeah, we're working on it. We appreciate everybody. So we appreciate all the support.
So Todd says he wants you to keep the number 10 Blanco a regular item.
I think we probably will. The Hoven will probably stay around too, but in different forms, because obviously we're blending the Repo and the Blanco and the Extra Añejo, and at some point we'll run out of Extra Añejo, so we'll probably have to. But at that point we'll have some Añejo, and so we'll do different variations and blends. It'll be something always very interesting and tasty and everything like that, but it'll change over time between batch to batch. But that's one of the beauties of the small batch, is that as we go along and we have different fruit, different agave, flavor profiles will change slightly, but that's the kind of the excitement of it.
Yeah, but right now the Hoven or the Extra Añejo is pretty much going to be exclusively ours. Mm-hmm. You may see the Hoven show up probably in 6 months or so with other retailers, And the same with the still strength. But we've got the exclusive right now at Ferment and Still on these.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's it.
Okay.
I was just agreeing. Yeah.
Alejandro says he will gladly buy a Cazcanes sweater.
Okay, so we'll work on sweaters. Yeah, I think we just had to produce some different swag. So,
a sweatshirt. You should do hoodies.
Yeah, hoodies, sweatshirts, hats. Oh, I have a hat, but we don't have. I don't know if anybody has seen these yet, but did like a trucker style hat. So
there you go. So EB101 Boxing says the Hoven is giving him something on the nose that I've never experienced before. I don't know what it is. Maybe that cheese that you were talking about. It's very interesting. It's the malolactic fermentation
malolactic
part.
Fermentation. Yeah, exactly. That moves in there and it gives it a buttery. I mean, everybody kind of perceives it differently. We've had people say, buttered popcorn, cheese, anything from like just a mild cheese funk or a blue cheese. I mean, everybody perceives it differently, and some people don't detect it at all. So it kind of just depends on you and your olfactory senses and your taste buds. So it's different, but it is definitely adds a lot of depth to it, makes it different, makes it unique. I haven't tried anything that anybody else has that's done that. I mean,
normally when you get a buttered popcorn kind of taste to it, it's due to a thing called diacetyl, and it's a compound that's developed in fermentation sometimes. It gives it a buttery popcorn kind of taste to it. Mm-hmm. So Todd Gilbert says Cazcanes is doing some magical distilling. So you have to tell Colin
Appreciate that. Yeah, I will. Yeah, and we'll keep doing it.
Shaman says, when proofing Cazcanes Tequila, do you proof down till the tequila tastes best? Notice the ABV is always on the higher end when Cazcanes proofing theory.
Yeah, I mean, typically we do. I mean, it's obviously when you proof down, you're just diluting with water, so you're also diluting flavor and and aromas. So we do when we do our tasting panels and we do tastings. We, like, for example, on the Hoven, we tried that anywhere from a 40% all the way up to the 50%, and I don't know, probably at least 6 different variations in between there. And we just tasted and ultimately decided, hey, we're going to do this at 100 proof. It just had the best flavor. And I mean, obviously, some of you guys know or don't know, but the higher proof we do, the more expensive it is for us. I mean, technically, water is plain water is next to free, so you're just diluting it, and then you get charged more on taxes and everything like that. So if it's going to make it taste better, we're willing to do it. I mean, there's a give and take, right? So we're always trying to aim for the best taste. With the Reposado and the standard Hoven, the number 7, Reposados, we've done a number 9 before, and we may do number 9s in the future. But typically, a lot of people look at Reposados as a kind of a gateway. It's an entry into tequilas. A lot of people use Reposados that way. So we try to make it as easy to drink as it can be, and usually that's by bringing the proof down. So that's why our standard Reposado is at 80 proof. And like I said, we've done number 9, which is 100 proof Reposados, and in the future we'll probably do that again. But in generally, so the Reposados are going to be a number 7. Standard Añejos are number 7. And if you guys aren't aware, I'm sorry, I'm kind of maybe jumping forward, but the number 7 means it's 80 proof. The number 9 means it's 100 proof. And now with this new still strength, the number 10 is 108 proof. So I hope that kind of clears that up for you.
So Alejandro wants to know, was the malolactic fermentation something you'd done before, or was it something new and you wanted to try?
It's something new we wanted to try. Like Colin makes wine, and it's something that's kind of it's fairly common in the winemaking. I don't know that it's Mark, obviously we did a long trip in tequila, and I asked a bunch of the master distillers if they'd ever done it. Some of them have done it. Some do it on purpose and add a small amount into their different varieties. But it's not unknown to the tequila world, but it's not super common. So it was something that we experimented with and found that it added a bunch of depth. We thought it was a little bit too much just on its own, so we didn't want to release a reposado that was like that. That's why we blended it and made it into the Joven. So it just added a lot of character and complexity as opposed to just having a lot of that one note that it would have had if we were just released the reposado like that.
So just so people know, malolactic fermentation only really happens when fermenting fructose. So fruits like grapes look for wine, and agave, when the conversion happens, it actually converts the sugars to fructose. Where if you're working with grains like in beer and stuff, you don't get malolactic fermentation unless you pitch malolactic bacteria in it. Where with fructose, it's a natural happening thing. And so you'll see it with brandies and stuff like that, where they're working with fructose versus working with grain-based sugars and stuff during fermentation.
You wouldn't get that with a whiskey then, would you, Mark? Or...
No.
Yeah. Okay.
You wouldn't get it with whiskey. Anything where they use grain, like even beer, I could let a fermentation on a beer go on for 3 months. And all it would do is clean up itself. It wouldn't go to malolactic fermentation. But with fruit, like wine and stuff, typically after it's finished, after 4 or 5 days, start heading into a malolactic fermentation. And that's why you have that with tequila agave. It's like they normally cut it off after 3-4 days, right, maybe 5 days of fermentation. Otherwise, it'll go into malolactic fermentation.
It depends on temperature and everything too, right? So I mean, it's like a 2 to 4 day process, but it'll depend on your ambient temperatures and everything like that. Sometimes you can go shorter, longer. But
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Where with beer and stuff, it won't go into a malolactic fermentation. It will just sit there, and all the yeast drops out to the bottom. So I've had stuff sitting in the fermenter when I've fermented beer where it's been there for 3 months, and it didn't have to worry about getting into a malolactic fermentation because it wasn't fructose based.
Interesting.
Just a little extra fermentation stuff. Todd says you have to be careful with the Blanco because it sneaks up on you. It does. It's a creeper.
Oh, yeah. Wait, the still strength? Is that what you're talking about, Todd? Or yeah, for sure. That's why when you guys were moving to that. But yeah, I just poured a little bit. You do have to be careful.
So Todd says he couldn't agree with Shaman anymore. Spot on. Alejandro says, out of all the bottles you have done, what has been your favorite so far?
Wow.
You have to pick your favorite child now, John Paul.
I don't know if you can do that. I mean, I tend to like Blancos. I'm really, really digging the Joven right now. I also like the extra Añejo. So I would probably say, still strength Blanco. I mean, I kind of put those in the same category, right? It kind of just depends on your mood. I'm really liking the Joven, and then I would move to an XA. I know some other people in the company really like the Repo. So it's just, I don't know, it's personal preference. But I mean, I would say I almost always lean towards Blancos with any brands, just because I like to see what they're working with. I want to see the foundation, the base, before they add any oak influence, before the wood does anything, before time does anything. I just want to see really what they're starting with, and then I'll move. If I like the Blanco, then I'll move up the line. But I mean, if the Blanco isn't any good, what do you? I don't know. What are you doing? You're just hiding flaws with wood and so on. I mean, and sometimes it helps. Sometimes you can, but sometimes you're just covering up bad tequila. So I always like to start with a Blanco and then work my way up. I mean, with that being said, though, our XA I think is just phenomenal. I haven't tasted anything like it. So, and I'm not quite at Mark's level. I'm not at almost 700 bottles. I think I heard him say last. But I mean, I'm still working on it, Mark. I'm gonna catch you. I think I'm gonna try. I don't think I'm gonna be able to, but I'm gonna try. So I'm at about 150, I think. But
Let me give you a little marriage advice. Don't.
Yeah. I've already like I've had to put extra shelves up. At one point in time, that I think I've told you this. The shelves collapsed. Did I tell you this?
You told me that, yeah.
Yeah, we put up shelves, and they said they could hold a certain amount of weight, which is a complete lie. I was into the studs. It had nothing to do with that. It was the actual shelf itself collapsed. I lost hundreds of dollars worth of tequila, and the carpet was soaked with tequila. I mean,
Let's everybody quietly bow our heads and have a moment of silence for the tequila loss at John Paul's house.
It was a debacle, but I've since recovered. So yeah, but I'm working on catching up to you. Even though I did lose a handful of bottles, I'll make up for it.
I'm sure you will. Any more questions, you guys? While we're sitting here getting severely buzzed on still strength.
108 proof Blanco, yeah.
I love that stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
We've been selling a ton of it too, you guys. And some of you that have placed orders that are like, hey, I placed an order last week. I haven't got them yet. We're working on them. We're getting them out. We got a ton of orders. So we're getting them out as fast as we can. And we'll crank them out this week. And so if you guys haven't got your orders in, you've been waiting or whatever, get them in now because we're cranking through them and we'll get a bunch of them out this week.
And this isn't a sales pitch. This is all we're running pretty low on XA. So I would suggest if you have any, if you think you're going to buy it or want to buy it, I would suggest picking it up from Mark because it'll be gone soon.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be back for a long. We won't have any XA. We don't have XA in the pipeline for. It's going to be close to 3 years. We have stuff in barrels right now, but a lot of that's going to be allocated for Añejo and Reposado. We're only going to save some for XA, and so it's going to be a while.
Yeah, they're running low on Añejo, so they need to use what they have in the barrels to get the Añejo out. So we'll have the Añejo back in stock soon on fermented still. And the Blanco, too. The Blanco, we still have a little bit in stock, the regular Blanco. Mm-hmm. But we have plenty of...
Blanco, we have Reposado, we just got back in. Obviously, we have the Joven, the still strength. The XA is already running low. You've already moved a lot of it, Mark, but it's getting low. So if you have any idea that you want to pick it up, I would suggest doing that. I was actually just on your site this morning, filling up my shopping cart, and I was seeing, such and such, because it tells you, I guess, when people are buying stuff, and I could see people buying Cazcanes while I was on there. I was like, wow, okay, cool, that's pretty cool. But I'm loading up. I started loading up a bunch of stuff from that I can't find elsewhere, so I'm getting it from you.
So Alejandro is doing a moment of silence for your tequila that you lost.
Oh, thank you.
Todd wanted to say thank you to both of us for doing this today, because he's a big Cazcanes fan, as you already know.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
Shaman says, Mark, what cigars are you pairing with the current 3 Cazcanes? Well, Shaman, this weekend I enjoyed a Baccarat with the Joven, since it's a nice medium-bodied cigar. I also had what else was it? A Macanudo, Connecticut with it as well, which is a nice medium-bodied. It went really well with it. So, and the extra Añejo, I went with a Oliva V or 5 Maduro. It's really nice pairing with that. And then also, what was the other one I went with? I'll do some more cigars and tequila with the Hombre, and I'll do some pairings with the Cazcanes stuff. I'll get those up. But there's some really good cigars. I've been testing some cigars to see which ones I like best, and so I'll do a cigar and tequila with the Hombre and do pairings with the ones that I enjoyed the most with these expressions.
Nice.
All right, so Alejandro says this project's amazing with the still strength, Joven, and Can. Is there any plans for the future? Something you want to try? Maybe other barrels for aging?
Yeah, for sure. Next time I go down to Mexico, I want to get French oak. I mean, I've been looking. I mean, I don't know yet exactly what's going to be available, but I mean, French oak for sure is on the wish list, and then we'll
How did
see.
that get on the wish list?
Oh, I wonder. Well, I bought one of the Raysol 10 years. I really like French oak. I think it's great.
I think it's
Um,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I think it has a really nice flavor. I mean, we could try different things, blending French oak with American oak. I don't know yet. We just don't know. I mean, it kind of speaks to us when we're doing stuff, when we're trying things. And I mean, when we do our tastings, I mean, we'll have. I mean, the whole table is just covered in bottles. I mean, and then I mean, we just spend days and days and days. I mean, and you can only do so much per day. So usually we'll start first thing in the morning. We'll do some blending and some tasting, and then we have to cut it off. Obviously, at a certain point, you get palate fatigue, and so you can't keep going. So then we come back the first thing the next morning and do it again and do it again. Um, but it's a labor of love. I'm not complaining.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. But it's great. And so then you kind of see from there, like what works, not always what you think is going to work is going to work. And I mean, it's different. So it's fun seeing what goes well together.
And don't worry, Alejandro. I keep giving them ideas, the things they should do. So,
Oh yeah.
matter of fact, we're talking about doing an exclusive for us, for the collective, and for the members here on the Tequila Hombre channel, where we're going to do a single barrel reposado that's going to be higher proof. So that's going to be something that's exclusive for us, you guys. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be good. I'll keep you guys posted on that as we progress towards it, getting it done.
Because we barrel at a higher proof, so we don't do a lot of people will dilute before they put in the barrels. We keep the proof higher before we put them in the barrels, so that gives us some flexibility, that we can dilute after we pull it out of the barrels, or just leave it at barrel strength, which is pretty close to the 50%. It's a little over 50%, so it accounts for the angel share. And we're going to lose some proof, and then if we have to, we bring it down 1% or 2. That's about it.
You should gain proof, right? Or are you aging in too humid of an environment?
It varies. It'll vary. Sometimes we do. So we always put it in over 50%. So just in case. So we can always come out with at least 50%. So I think we put in around 52 or so, right around there. Yeah.
All right, so Shaman says, thanks for the heads up on the XA. Better not wait and get another order in. Absolutely. Absolutely, Shaman. Stephen L says, sipping on the XA. Love it. Where's the single barrel XA? Where the single barrel XA and the new XA release age similarly? Or were they?
They were aged at the same time. So they're both 37 months. The only difference is obviously the single barrel is a single barrel. I mean, I've probably said this before. For people who've already heard it, I mean, I'll just say it again. But if you haven't, what we did is we assembled tasting panels, and that's pretty common for when we're trying a new release or anything like that. So what we did is we pulled samples out of every barrel. And I don't know if you guys know this, but every time you pull sample, you can't just go into your barrel room and decide you want to try something at any given point in time. You have to call the CRT. The CRT has to come out. The CRT has to log it. They have to break the seal. You pull your samples out. Then the CRT will seal it again, and then they relog it. And it's very regulated, which it should be, because I'm sure there'd be a lot of people that would cheat the system if it wasn't. And the CRT guys are different every time. They don't have the same guy coming out all the time. So every time a CRT, and they have their own cars. I think Mark saw it. They show up in the CRT car, and it's different guys all the time. So there's the corruption's definitely at a minimum. And so they'll come in and we pull samples, right? So we'll pull them all, and then we assemble a tasting panel of Tequila College alumni, Tequila college professors, and then we have master distillers from other distilleries, as well as bloggers and industry people that come and they join our tasting panels. I mean, they can hang out and drink tequila. So I mean, we get a good number of people, right? And with each bottle, what we do is they write tasting notes, and this is blind. Nobody's talking, so everybody kind of does their own thing. And at the end, we compile all the information, and from there, then we start the discussion. And so what happened when we did that tasting panel with the single barrel XA, everyone said, I believe it was barrel number 7. Whatever that is magical. Whatever you do, leave it the way it is. Don't blend it. Don't change it. And so that's how we came up with a single barrel expression for that. It was unanimous. Everyone said, hey, this is phenomenal. So we kept that barrel separate. And then I don't know if you have it, then that's what you got. So, and then at that point in time, I think we only had 4 barrels. So the other 3 barrels got blended, and then that's what the standard XA is. But they're all 37 months.
Yeah. And when I tried it, I was like,
yeah, that stuff's really good, man. Makes me want to sing.
While he was shopping in Home Depot, I was all like,
yeah,
but I never got an invite to be on the tasting panel, at least not yet. Maybe next time.
I didn't even know you at that point in time. Yeah.
So Ubaldo says he just ordered a bottle of the XA. You think the Blanco and Hoven will be next?
Okay, nice.
He got his order in. My phone just went ding, and there was somebody ordered. EB101 Unboxing says, I keep going back to the Hoven. I tend to gravitate to aged tequilas, but I find the Blanco super easy to drink for that proof and can see how it can be dangerous. LOL. It's dangerous.
Definitely, it can be. It sneaks up on you. But I mean, you know, I don't know. I just like the agave flavor. I think we just do that. I mean, I don't know. What's your opinion on it? Maybe I'll ask everybody else. What's everybody's opinion on maybe coming out with a number 7, which would be an 80 proof Blanco? I mean,
does everybody want an 80 proof Blanco? Or are we happy with 100 and 108 proof?
I might get a skewed result from this panel because, but I'm just.
I think this panel's going to come back unanimously to just keep it 108 proof.
No, we would never not have the number 9. But I'm just wondering if anybody would want to try a number 7, because that's something we've never done.
Sure, like we all want more water in our tequila, right?
I mean, everyone drinks everybody else's stuff like that, you know.
Because that's the only way they offer it.
Yeah, it's true.
When G4108 came out, everyone's buying the G4108 now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Shaman wants to know, these bottles look like they're hand blown. How are they made?
They're half hand blown. Originally, we did all 100% half blown, but they tended to be very inconsistent. So you would have some that would look like the fill line was here, then you'd have some of the fill line was here, but yet they all had 750 milliliters. So they were just super inconsistent, and then they tended to be really easy to break. So we switched bottle suppliers, and it's still hand blown, but I think the process it's a little bit more controlled. It's not as I don't know. I think the other guy was. I think they were making wood molds, I think is what it was, and we switched to aluminum molds. So it's just a little bit more consistent now. And the bottle also. There's a story behind the bottle. This bottle is actually, the shape is trademarked. So Colin, which you've heard Mark talk about, he's my brother-in-law. Colin Edwards is one of the master distillers for Cazcanes and original founders. Behind his house, he has a gold mine. There's actually an old abandoned gold mine behind his property, which he hikes up to all the time. And he found an old apothecary bottle in the tailings of the gold mine. And, it's an old medicine bottle. And he thought it looked super cool and thought, hey, this has got to house, Cazcanes in the future. So he brought that bottle down to Mexico, and then they used that as the template to scale up to produce what you guys are holding in your hands or looking at here.
So there you go. It's medicine.
Yeah.
So your wife asks you, why are you drinking that Cazcanes again? Tell her, it's medicine, honey. That's what I do. And my wife just looks at me and goes,
you're just always looking for an excuse to drink.
Yeah, well.
Wait, is it your anniversary today, Mark?
Yes, it is.
Happy anniversary.
16 years of bliss.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I love my wife. She's awesome. And she embraces my hobby. Passion, hobby, I don't know.
All 700 of your other kids.
Yes. I still love it when it's like she walks into my office, she looks around.
This is disgusting. I don't know why one single person would need this much tequila, but it's disgusting.
And then she grunts and turns and walks away. And I just go, walk away. Walk away. Don't look. Walk away.
Yeah. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see. Nothing to see. You gotta get one of those men in black things and just like erase your memory.
Zapper. You've been neuralized.
I think I'm gonna move on to a little bit of the XA here.
I'm ready to move. I think I've only got a little bit. I got to put another order in for the Hoven because I only got a little bit left. And
have you tried the Reposado yet, Mark?
I have not. I'm going to do a review. You guys, they gave me the Reposado, and I have an Añejo coming too. So I haven't done the Reposado Añejo yet. So we'll do a review of those two, which are both number 7s.
Correct.
So they're both 80 proof. Mm-hmm. But I'll do a review of those, and then we'll work on getting a high proof Añejo soon.
I'm not going to say it won't happen. You never know.
I'm sure I can convince you. We can talk about it. But I'm working for you guys. I'm getting some good stuff with these guys. So E-Fit says he wants the job of tasting tequila for Cazcanes. Did you say anything about it being a job?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
It's a privilege, my friend. It's not a job. You don't get paid for it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gotten paid for that. No.
Todd says, on the first smell of the number 10 Blanco, I knew it was special before ever tasting. Yeah, it's got just a beautiful aroma to it. Remember, I always say taste with your nose, your eyes, and your mouth, and the feeling inside your mouth. It's all senses. And when you just put your nose to the glass with that still strength in there, it's like, ugh, so good.
I moved on to the EA, sorry.
I'm going to jump to the EA too. What the heck? So Cardozo wants to know how are sales in Mexico compared to the USA?
We're not even, right now we're working on getting everything approved for the Mexican market. So we've never actually even sold any tequila in the Mexican market. But there's been requests for it. So we're working on that. There's a whole different tax thing set up over there, and you've got to do different regulations and all that. Believe it or not, I mean, you produce it there, but it's like it's not just you can't just sell it there. You got to do a whole different thing. So we're in the middle of setting that all up right now. So I'll let you know. We'll fast forward. I don't know how long it's going to be because it's the Mexican government. So as soon as that gets finalized, and then we start making sales there, I can let you know.
So the answer to that question is that sales in the U.S. are kicking Mexico's.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Shaman says, I can water it down and get it to 80 proof if I want to try that. You don't have to make it.
Yeah, but you'd have to stabilize it. It wouldn't just be the same. I mean, you just watered it down. It wouldn't be the same as the final product. I mean, maybe if you let it sit for a long time or something, but it really has to marry. I mean, that's part of it too. When you blend, I mean, it's difficult. You can't just, I mean, you get an idea, but you don't know what the final product's going to be until you really let the water or whatever else you're blending marry. It makes a difference.
Yeah, you just if you could add distilled water to it and just let it sit. But they're using different water, for their diluting. They're using this special water that they truck down from the mountains. Mm-hmm. But if you wanted to, you could dilute it down to proof, but just shake it and let it sit so it marries together and calms down.
Correct. Yeah. Because otherwise,
everyone's congratulating me now on my anniversary. It's not about me, you guys. We're talking about Cazcanes. Cardoza, thank you very much, buddy. Shaman, thank you. your wife and you celebrate your 16th in 5 weeks. Nice. The current Cazcanes master distiller, the original master distiller. Yes. There's only been one master distiller for Cazcanes.
Yeah, Chico
I can answer that question.
Colin. Yeah.
Colin, if you guys watch, we did Happy Hour with the Hombre, where Colin, the master distiller, Chico, the co-master distiller, was on, as well as Jose, our partner, and he's fun.
Jose does that.
He's like their pro insulter for Cazcanes. He just picked on me for 10 days.
Hey, you dished it out too.
Yeah, we had fun. He's a good guy. I like Jose. So yeah, you can watch. We actually had those guys on, and there was a little volume issues in the beginning, but we got those ironed out.
I think we were one of the first ones to do that too.
What's that?
Right, one of the first ones to do one of the live ones. Also, I think we're the guinea pigs.
That's right. I bring them on because I know if things mess up, they're a little more patient than some people. He says, "Hey John." Todd says, "Hey John, we've already put Mark on the fence in comparing the single barrel XA to the blended. How do you feel about the comparison?"
Oh, me? You're asking? Okay, so I think it's fair. I mean, I think I told you, Mark, in the beginning. I said I think the blended is maybe 90. Everyone's going to have their own opinions, right? But 90 to 90, I mean, somewhere between 90 and 95% of what the single barrel is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the single barrel definitely has a leg up on the blend, but I mean, I think the blend is phenomenal.
I think for the price, it's amazing.
Yeah, the blend is and if you weren't comparing them, I mean, it's like if you don't know any better, it's phenomenal. But if you try the single barrel, I mean, it takes it just that notch higher, just a step higher. So I hope that.
So Shaman wants to know what's harder to get approval for, the USA or Mexico?
I couldn't tell you what's harder. I mean, because originally, we just did the Jose and the original founders did the American market. I mean, that was the whole beginning. You don't have a tequila company really until you do that. So that was what they did. I mean, then you got to work with the U.S. government, the TTB, and everything to get that all set up. But so that was just handled. So I don't know what's harder. I mean, Jose would be better to answer that question. I mean, I could ask him and kind of let Mark know, and if that question ever comes up again, or I don't know who asked it, but maybe Mark could answer them, outside of this chat.
I'm sure the USA is harder.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with USA. I mean,
you have to deal with the TTB labels and all that other stuff, and but each state's different, and
you're dealing with the CRT, and then the labeling, every single label has to be approved. I mean, we were talking about adding. I mean, this is just a conversation Jose and I had today, and I think it was yesterday. But we want to add additive free or something to that effect on our label now. And it's like, if we do that, it's not just as simple as changing the label. I mean, the label has to be approved. Every single one of those labels, every SKU has to be approved, and they're super particular about everything you put on there. So, I mean, it seems like a simple change. Oh, just go in there and make it say additive free, but it's not that simple.
Yeah, it's a political game too. You have to grease the right palms and.
I don't. I mean, we haven't had that situation, but yeah, it is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, right? Because I mean, the CRT was created by Jose Cuervo, right? I mean, I think they originally were trying to use it to push out the smaller distilleries. So.
Well, and the larger ones have more control over what they do too, because they pay the most in taxes because they're doing the highest volume. Mm-hmm. So they're going to listen to what the big guys like Salza and Cuervo and stuff say.
And they push a lot of their own agendas. So like the I don't know if you know, for example, it was verified additive free. You know what Tequila Matchmaker is doing, what Weber's doing, and the CRT did not like that. So I think it was verified additive free, and I think they switched it now to certified. Is that what it says now? I think it's certified additive free. They've changed it.
It says verified additive free on it.
No, that's the old sticker. That's what we originally got. Now, if you look, I think they have it certified. If you go, to Tequila Matchmaker, you'll see that they've changed the verbiage, it was just a CRT thing.
You have to buy those from Grover?
Yeah, eventually. I think initially we were one of the first to contact Grover and ask to be verified additive free. So I remember when I first heard about it, I emailed them immediately. And I mean, within, I think it was probably less than a week, Grover was at the distillery doing his inspections, checking everything. I mean, because it's pretty involved. I mean, he checks your whole place over, checks the entire process. They want to see your witness bottles. They want to see your CRT certifications. They want to go through everything. They want to make sure there's no additives in the facility anywhere, and just kind of check the whole process over. It's pretty thorough. I mean, Grover does a good job, but we were one of the first people to do it. And I think the first people to jump on. There was no fee initially, and then I think moving forward, like this year's, I think it's time for us to renew, and then we have to pay.
So did you order stickers from them, or they just gave you a bunch of stickers?
I think we got them initially, and then I think probably part of what we're going to get is, and I don't know how many come with it. This is a question for Jose, but when we have to re-up, because now it's time for him to come back out and re-inspect again. And then when he does that, then we have to pay a fee, and then maybe you get a certain number of stickers for that. I mean, obviously, if your volume's insane, I don't think he's just going to keep feeding you stickers at no cost. Yeah.
All right, so Alejandro wants to know, other than Cazcanes brand, what's your go-to brand?
Ooh, I like a lot of stuff, man. I don't know. Like ever since the trip to Mexico, I'm really liking a lot of stuff from 1414, Vivanco and Associates, Sergio Cruz. But and he has a lot of different stuff he does out of there. But I do like Fortaleza. I do like G4. I like Terralta, I think, better than G4. I like Fuente Seca a lot. For Blancos, we're talking kind of Blancos here.
The mosquitoes there are a bitch, though, I hear.
Oh my God, you can't even see them. They're no-see-ums, I think they call them, right? I mean, you just all of a sudden your ankles are just destroyed. That was the worst at the Fuente Seca distillery. I got destroyed there.
And it's funny because Jose, the guy that was one of the guys with us, just smacks his leg, and all of a sudden blood just spurted everywhere.
You can't even see them. They're not like normal mosquitoes. They're invisible to the human eye. But you definitely, the next day, our ankles were I think we were comparing ankles. It was terrible.
It was horrible. We got eaten alive at La Tequilania.
Yeah, and at what's the name of the distillery for Fuente Seca? What are they?
La Tequilania.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
El Tequileño is the.
Yeah. Okay.
They're like right in the same street practically. El Tequileño, which is the brand, and then La Tequileña, which makes Fuente Seca and.
Got it.
Pura Sangre.
It's because we were standing on grass. That's why. So we were standing on the grass that we were doing the tasting. But how did we get there? We were just. What were we just talking about before that happened?
We were talking about Fuente Seca being one of the brands that you.
Yeah. I'm trying. Calle 23. I like Calle 23. I don't know. I like tequila. I just like to see what other people have done and how. Because it's an art, right? It's what people are doing with very similar ingredients, similar techniques, but the product always comes out different. And that a lot of that has to do with the fruit, of course, right? Different fruit is going to produce different product. That's why no batch, unless you're using additives, can be identical. If you're doing it right, every batch is going to be slightly different. But, and I think Ocho highlights that. I like Ocho too. Ocho highlights that with their different varieties. And Ocho is an excellent product too. El Tesoro is good. You could probably pretty much name. I like a lot of it. So it's hard for me to say that anyone's my favorite, because there'll be one day where I'll pour a glass of something and try it, and it tastes different to me that day. And whether it's I don't know, my mood, my taste buds, something I ate, whatever the case may be, and then the next day I'll try it again and it's 100 times better than it was the day before. So I don't know. It's just an adventure. It's just I like it. I like that variety. it's kind of exciting. It's different. I mean, that's what I really like about tequila. So
guys, we're sitting here talking to John Paul Fortunati from Cazcanes Tequila. If you want to ask questions, you can just look in the description. You'll see the membership link. You can join, become a member of the channel. You get access to asking questions and commenting to industry people like John Paul. And once you become a member, you can come on and start asking questions. Otherwise, you'll have to just watch me outside. But we also do special content just for the members as well, where you guys get behind the scenes looks at stuff here that happens at the Tequila Hombre. And then we also do members only Q&As on Mondays after the usual Q&As. But I'm going to have more guests as well that are going to be coming on, and only the members will be able to ask them questions and comments. So make sure you join and click the link in this description below. It's $9.95 a month, which is like 2 Starbucks coffees. It's nothing.
It's 2 Starbucks.
Yeah, it's nothing. And it helps support the channel so I can deliver you guys all the great content and work on some of the great projects that I have for you guys with people like John Paul as well as others in the industry. All right. Now that's said, if you like the information we've been sharing so far, make sure you click the like button. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so when we do go live, you'll know about it. So our next comment comes from Shaman. He wants to know, were your thoughts on trying the Blanco at 80%? I'm not totally against the idea. What were your thoughts on it?
I mean, it just the only reason I would even consider it is to make it, number one, to lower the price so that it's more accessible to some people, and then people who are not, kind of like what I had said about the Reposado earlier, making it an easier entry into the spirit. I mean, like everybody here on this chat, everybody here that's watching, I would say for the most part, we've already been bitten by the tequila bug. I mean, we're into agave, so the more the merrier, right? But I mean, there's people who haven't been exposed to it, or they've been exposed to these these horrible additive, bomb tequilas that they're putting all these
additive bomb.
It skews it, and it gives people this misconception of what tequila tastes like. You're throwing all this extra sugar and vanilla flavoring or whatever it is. I mean, there's certain things that are just they're abominations. I mean, I try them and I just can't. I mean, like the 818 tequila, I bought that just to see what it was like, and I couldn't even. I just couldn't do it. I mean, if I try tequila and it has additives in there, is this the tequila police?
We do not condone the talking of a Kendall Jenner tequila on this channel. We are the tequila police, and we have spoken.
Yeah. I just can't do it. I mean, I understand why people get there. I mean, they get started with it, but it should be like training wheels, right? I mean, I don't even know if this is training, but it's more like a big wheel, right? I mean, and then you migrate over to like some tequilas maybe that are at a lower proof that you can really see what agave tastes like and kind of move from there. But I in some ways, I mean, in some ways you look at it like, okay, these celebrity tequilas are maybe helping expose tequila to a greater audience, and so maybe that's a good thing, maybe. And then hopefully they kind of move and migrate up to the better tequilas, the small batch, the well-crafted tequilas that we all enjoy. But so with that being said, the reason I would do an 80 proof is to make it a little bit more accessible, right, to people, where it's not. Some people maybe can't handle the 100 proof until they get a little bit more acclimated to tequila. And I don't know if that answers the question or if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but let me know.
I don't know. I don't think everyone always says, well, the celebrity tequila would be a good entry point, or like, tequila with training wheels. But the only problem is if it stated on there that there was additives added to it, then, I would say, yes, I'm all on board. Beginner tequila, it's got additives in it to make it taste better for you guys to get used to it. But it's like giving somebody chocolate milk and saying this is what milk tastes like.
Yeah.
And everyone's going, damn, milk tastes good. Not realizing that, well, it's got a ton of
bunch
chocolate
of sugar
to make it
and
taste
chocolate.
better.
And, exactly. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and they should. But I mean, in some ways, maybe it just does expose people because they have the marketing budget. They have that kind of stuff that, the small brands don't. So they're getting out there in everybody's face, and they're exposing people to tequila. I mean, as you know, agave as a segment is growing. It's huge.
Yeah.
And probably some of that has to do with all the celebrities that are jumping in. And I don't buy any of that product. I don't like it. I mean, I've accidentally bought tequilas with additives before, not knowing maybe they weren't listed on, Tequila Matchmaker or something. There was no way I could verify whether it had additives or not until I tried it. The second I taste it, I mean, I just feel ripped off. I mean, I've been pretty upset before. I mean, it's literally, I don't even know what to do with the tequila. I mean, I drink one sip.
So you just leave it at my house.
I did that. I did that to you one time. Yeah. I can't drink it. I just won't. I just can't.
He's like, "Oh, I brought this for you." Well, thanks, buddy.
But you can do something with it. There's no. I'm not. I can't even. I'm not even going to give it to people. I would feel it's disingenuous. What am I serving them this crap for? You know what I mean? There's no way. I don't even know what I would do with it.
So Cordoza says, most of my Mexican friends just drink Patron and Don Julio, and I was wondering why not something better? Well, it's like I always tell people, just because people have this perception that, just because they're from Mexico, that they know what they're doing when it comes to tequila. They don't. They're just like people here in the U.S. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what good tequila is.
As Mark knows, I mean, Cristalino is one of the hottest segments in Mexico. It started in Mexico, and maybe you know better than me, but it was probably a bad batch of añejo or something that they didn't know what to do with it, and they figured, hey, let's see if we can filter it or do something with it, and that's
salvage.
It was salvage. They had something that was garbage, and they had to figure it out, and then it's all marketing. They just sold it as a high end, something very unique, exclusive.
Look what he brought to the party. It's very luxurious. It's a Cristalino.
Yeah. And it's
nice.
Huge. It's huge in Mexico. So, but I mean, the only Cristalino that I've ever tasted that doesn't have additives is the El Tequileno, and that's actually good. But every other, even from well-made brands who, and I don't want to name any names, but like there's other brands that I've had that make good tequila, and their Cristalinos have additives, and it's terrible. I just can't do it. Sorry. I mean, if you like stuff with additives, more power to you, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Or my cup of tequila.
Like we always say, if you like it, then it's your thing. Keep doing it, but don't expect us to appreciate the same thing, because it's not going to happen. And then once you acquire a taste for the good stuff too, you'd end up not liking it as well. We all started there,
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think when I long time ago, before I was really into tequila at all, I mean, I tried some Cava de Oro, and then they've got, I mean, I don't know how much, there's so much sweetener in there, but I mean, I was like, oh wow, this is good. But I mean, it's good for pancake syrup now, you know what I mean? But so once you really taste real tequila, because obviously then at that point later on I was exposed to real tequila, I can't touch that stuff anymore. There's no way. I won't do it.
Okay, so this next comment is kind of funny. I find it kind of funny. So, Shaman says, I keep telling my wife I'd like to order a few more Cazcanes hand-blown glasses. She's not biting on the $250 a glass price. Love the single barrel XA and the presentation. It's like, dude, you're not buying the glasses. They come for free. It's not $250 a glass.
Tell her you want to buy the shredded agave. That's what you need.
I really like the wooden box, but for $499.99 for a wooden box, my wife is saying no.
It's $4.99 for the box, and you get the tequila and the glasses for free. You've already built the argument that the glasses are worth a lot, and then now you just tell them it's the box, and you get the tequila for free.
Put the value on the liquid in the bottle, though. Come on,
everything in there is handmade, so you can use that argument.
Todd Gilbert says the bottles are beautiful and the juice is amazing. I agree.
Thank you, Todd.
100%. Amen. Todd says, yeah, I admit I'm a fan because Kanas is my favorite brand of tequila. It's my favorite now too. Sorry, G4. You were my boo before, but I moved on, and I have somebody else in my life now.
They still have a happy spot in your heart.
They do. They're a side piece now, but my main boo is Cazcanes.
Your Goomba, whatever is it.
I have my esposa, which is Cazcanes, and my novia, esposa, which is G4. Todd says celebrity tequila needs Mark because no one should drink bad tequila. Because life is too short to drink bad tequila.
Definitely.
This says all that crap tastes like sweet hairspray.
Ooh, Aquanet.
We used to set that crap on fire, man.
Aquanet. And the girls, remember the girls had their bangs that were like this?
Yeah. It's like the wind's blowing like 30 miles an hour and it's still hair is still like.
Yeah. Aquanet.
Oh my God, girl, what you got in your hair? Aquanet. That's 80s thing. Yeah. All you guys that weren't alive in the 80s don't know about the Aquanet craze. Todd wants to know if there's anything on the horizon that you can share with him. Anything new? I told you this single barrel Reposado.
Yeah, single barrel Reposado is something we've been talking about with Mark. So we just got to get
exclusive for us. That's it.
Yeah, well, he'll pick the barrel. So we'll go down there. We got a bunch of barrels, and we'll call the CRT, have them open up some barrels for us, and then Mark can see which one he wants for you guys. But I mean, soon we might even have some Añejo, and then next batch of Joven will be different, right? So we'll have to figure out what that's going to be, because the Reposado that was about a 6-month Reposado in the Joven you're tasting now. That's still aging. It's still in barrels. We still have a little bit left of that 4-year single barrel extra Añejo that went into that. So we'll probably use that till that's out. But then in the future, we might have some Añejo. Well, it's exciting. I mean, we're always looking to be creative and try new things. So the juice speaks to us. I mean, so I don't have an answer for you exactly right now, except for what we've already discussed. But we'll see what comes up and what's available and how that works. We're looking at buying some more agave right now and then producing some more batches. So that'll have some different flavor profiles. We'll be throwing that in barrels, and I don't have exact dates in mind, but I'll probably be going down to Mexico again, looking at some different barrels, see what's available, and loading some more stuff up. So yeah, it's always an adventure.
And Cazcanes is like a brother from another mother with me, so I'm always working with him, coming up with ideas and going, hey, oh yeah, why don't you try this? How about we do this? And they'll either say, you smoking weed, dude, or what? No, I don't smoke weed. I'm just drunk on 108 proof Blanco. No, but we're working on the single barrel Reposado, and I'm actually talking to him about having exclusive where we're the only ones that get a high proof Reposado from them on a regular basis.
Is that what you're...
So we're working on making that happen. And no, there's not a bug in my eye. So I'll keep you guys posted on that.
Just so you know, Mark's working for all you guys. He always wants to bring you the best product, exclusive. He's got an amazing passion for tequila, and obviously, I'm sure you guys notice it shows.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm always working for you guys to get stuff that you just can't walk into any liquor store and get, right? We want the good stuff, and we want it, so we get an exclusive on it, and that's what I'm working on doing. So, And
I mean, obviously, I'm sure anybody who's tried any of his suggestions, he does an amazing job curating. His,
thank you.
Well, ferment and still and everything. I mean, I go on there all the time. I'm looking at what can I get? You know what I mean? There's just, I don't think there's a bad bottle on there. So, I don't know, maybe there is a couple, but it's not. There's nothing with additives. There's none of that stuff.
I don't think there's anything bad on there.
No. I mean,
the only one I probably would say is on the cuff would be the Los Abuelos, the Skelly. Mm-hmm. Not Los Abuelos. What is it? The Skelly. I
haven't tried that one.
The skeleton bottle.
I haven't tried that.
It's decent tequila, but the bottles are cool, so that's why we carry it.
Yeah.
Because it looks really good on the back bar.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, there you go.
I got one right there, and then there's another one on the shelf over here, too. The Neo. This is the Repo here with this yellow sombrero.
Okay.
But I always try to get good stuff for everybody and keep
next
the
time I
stuff
see
in
you,
there.
maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, when you come over.
I'll raid your cabinet.
Like you always do. We'll pop his head off and I'll pour you a little bit of Repo.
Sounds good.
All right, so EBA 101 Boxing says, I need to try the XA. I think after tasting the Still Strength in the Joven today and the Añejo and number 9 Blanco at the Tequila Fest, I feel this is a great line so far. Salute.
Oh, you tried which Tequila Fest? Were you at Monterey? Or
He was at LA.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he came by and said hi to us at the booth.
Oh, I don't remember.
You were really busy. I was chatting with him.
Okay.
He's
Next
a nice
time,
guy.
introduce yourself. Okay.
He was there with his wife. She was his designated driver.
Got it. Okay.
Says, yes, Mark is willing to always ask the uncomfortable questions. I have
Which one?
My wife is, as my wife says, I have no filter.
No, that's pretty obvious. I think you guys all have figured that out by now.
After 10 days together in Mexico, I think John Paul's figured that out too.
Yeah, for sure.
What the hell are you saying?
Yeah, can we get a filter? Put your mask back on, Mark. Maybe that'll filter something.
And no carbon filtering here. It's all natural.
Yeah.
Shaman wants to know, what's the target age of agave Cazcanes looks for? You guys don't really have a target age, right?
It's more, again, we probably have talked about this before, but we have a gentleman named Victor. We call him our agave whisperer. So he goes out and looks for agave for us.
To agave.
Yeah. He's been doing it for over 40 years. He knows agave like back of his hand. So he'll go out and find agave for us. We check the bricks levels in the field and make sure they're up to our standards. But typically it's around 6 years. You don't even consider agave unless it's 5 years or older. Unless, some of these brands, the diffuser brands, are using 3-year-old agave. I mean, Mark and I were watching at Sauza. They were putting like little piñas in, like, I don't know, like this big. I mean, they were bringing them in by the truckload and just dumping them. They didn't even, they weren't even manicured. They didn't do anything to them. They just threw them right in there, and they were just going in the machine and just. One guy told us,
raise the back of the truck up, and it just literally dumps them into a bin, and then automatically feeds them into the diffuser.
Yeah,
there's not even people going, later, this is tiny.
It doesn't stop. It's 24/7, and it's within 48 hours they have tequila coming out, and the shredded agave when it's done. So most shredded agave looks, well, if anybody's got the single barrel, you'll see it has like a brownish color. It's almost like a brownish, like a brown sugar color. It's got some. It looks nice. The shredded agave coming out of the diffuser is white. It's pale. It's dry. There's no moisture anymore at all into it. It doesn't even look like shredded agave. I was like looking at it going, what is
it's not even white. It's like a really gross gray color.
Yeah, it's void of everything's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's odd. But
I actually did. If you look on the Tequila Talk channel, I took a picture of agave fibers out of Cazcanes and agave fibers out of Sauza and put them side by side, and you can really see a difference between what's actually left in the agave coming out of Sauza versus Cazcanes. And I still have a Cazcanes tour I need to put together and get that up so people can see what the distillery looks like.
Yeah, we're small. We're very small. But
John Paul will be in the video, so you guys will see him.
Oh.
As the CEO of Cazcanes, I'd like to.
I mean, we're so small. I mean, I don't know if you noticed. I mean, our roller mill, we have one. I mean, most people will have a line, right? It's like 4 to 5 mills. We have one, and we just have to keep feeding it back in.
Yeah.
Feeding it back in. So
they only have one pass. Normally, you'll see, like, if you look at the Ocho distillery 14. That I did.
Okay, yeah.
And as well as El Tequileño, they have like 3 or 4 passes before the fibers dumped. Where theirs, they just have one pass and they just keep rotating it through it. The single
and then we
pass.
just do that until we've gotten all the sugars out, and we do that by by feel when we're doing it. But
an idea of what your extraction rate is?
The percentage?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's probably, I think, in the 80s or something is what I heard, something right around there. But I mean, again, I could double check with you on that. I mean, what we're working on now too is like, I don't know if anybody thinks this is a great idea. Let me get everybody's feedback. But what we've been doing is starting to collect all the data from when we get agave in the field. So, for example, when we buy agave, it's single estate, right? It's not always the same estate, but it's a single estate. We're not buying commodity agave. We're not mixing agaves, right? So we'll go to a particular field, and then we hand select all the agave from that field, and if we don't like it, we leave it behind. But with that being said, so we collect that data. Obviously, we know where it came from. We know the Brix levels in the field. Obviously the altitude. Where it came from, and then so we're compiling this data. And then so we'll know the Brix levels in the field, the Brix levels at the facility. And then obviously there's some other idiosyncrasies that happen obviously when we produce, but we're collecting all this information. So what our future plan is to have a QR code on the bottles so that you can scan that and go, okay, this particular batch, this agave came from here. This was the altitude that the agave came from. This was the Brix levels. This was, all these type of, they're just super nuanced, and it's really only a tequila nerd would care. But I think it's interesting. So I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but I think it would be fun for each different batch to see what the different variations were and so on.
You should do it as a Cazcanes app.
We could do an app, or you could just do a QR code and it just takes you to a section on our website that shows you each different batch. So then you can, from there, you're like, oh, cool, like this is what's different from here. And maybe you could try to taste the difference. You could A/B them. Whatever the case may be, but it's just something that we've been compiling a lot of data to do that in the future.
All right, so Shaman says Mark might need to do a Tequila Barrel collective buy of Cazcanes t-shirts and hoodies. We're not going to do a buy of t-shirts and stuff, but I'm sure when they get some done, John Paul will hook me up so I can get some in your hands. Oh, you guys are trying to work your way into the t-shirts.
We're going to bring back the members. Bringing the 80s back again, Mark. Members only.
Yes. Or Eyes at Lacoste. Alligator.
It was a playoff members only because you're probably only going to give them the members.
Oh, members only.
Yeah.
Or we could. I wouldn't sell them. I just give them away when you buy. A bottle of each of Cazcanes, you get a free t-shirt in your order. But I think it'd probably be better to give it away because I don't know if I could trust my warehouse staff to include stuff in what the orders. So Alejandro says, what do you mean when you say it's not Brix, BRCKS, it's Brix, BRIX. It's a sugar content.
Mm-hmm.
So when they say Brix level, they're measuring the sugar content of the agave, and they can use something to measure Brix called a refractometer, which is a little hand tool that you use. You look in the light, and you put the agave fibers or whatever in the thing, and you can tell you how much sugar's in it. So it's BRIX. It's not BRICKS, not bricks, like you build a house from.
And it's slightly different. It's different in the field. By the time you get at the facility, it changes. So we always want to make sure it's super high in the field because it starts dropping by the time we get it to the facility. Yeah. So the higher the sugar levels, the richer the flavor. I mean, just you have a lot more to work with. You're going to have better yields as far as the product, and then it usually makes the product much better. I mean, if you start off with something crap in the field, you're going to get crap at the at the end. So
yeah, you want your agave to be really, really rich in sugars. So when you cook it in the autoclave like they do, it caramelizes all those sugars, get all the sugars converted from starches to sugars, and it's just super sweet. And if you guys have ever tried cooked agave when it just comes out of the Orno or out of the autoclave, you just after you let it cool, of course.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, if you guys haven't done that, if you guys ever go, that's the big takeaway is if you ever go down to Mexico and go to a distillery, you've got to find a distillery that's producing, because obviously not every distillery produces every day. Some do. One suggestion would be Fortaleza because they produce 24/7. But if you go there, because there'll be some distilleries you go to do a tour and they won't be producing, and there's some that probably never produce, as we found, and then they say, oh, we're closed for maintenance, because they are using diffused juice and they're trying to tell you that they make their stuff. That's not the case everywhere, but some of the big guys will always be closed for maintenance. But but if you could get an opportunity to try that baked agave, I think you could make a mint selling that. It starts to ferment if you let it sit too long. So I think it would be hard to transport and everything like that, but it's just amazing. I mean, you could just sit there and
I've actually seen it sold in Mexican markets here in Southern California.
Really? I mean, I looked into that. I didn't see it, but I mean, maybe it's a one-off.
They call it mezcal.
Really?
But I've seen it in a foil, like a styrofoam tray with the saran wrap over it. Okay. Where it had Weber Blue agave that was cooked with wedges of it. It's so good. If you guys,
it's excellent. If you get an opportunity to try it. And there's different portions of it taste different. The heart tastes different than the closer to the leaves, and they're a little more fibrous versus. I mean, it's different. So if you get a chance, you've got to try it. And actually, cooking method changes the flavor too. Remember, San Matias was more like a really, really light color versus most of the other places are super dark brown. So it depends on how they cook it, the duration, the temperatures, all that will actually affect that, and then eventually will affect the outcome of the tequila. So it's just. I mean, I've used this analogy before, but it's like an artist, right? They all start with a canvas and they start with paints. Same thing, but the ultimate outcome is completely different. I mean, what you see at the end, what they paint is totally different. And the same thing with tequila. You're starting with agave and you're starting with water. I mean, if you're doing it traditionally made, I mean, obviously you can cook it differently. You can cook with an Orno, you can cook with an autoclave, you can roller mill it, you can tahona it, you can ferment differently, you can add different yeasts. There's so many different variations, and we've saw this everywhere. Everyone has different ideas and different. I mean, but that's what makes it so exciting. It's amazing to everybody pours their different creativity and their their experiences and everything, and then at the end is what you're tasting. I just find it super exciting. I mean, I don't know.
I did too.
Yeah.
And just so people know, when they talk about tasting agave, you can ask them if it's the corazon, which is the heart, or the penca, which is more of the leaves, which is the more fibrous area of the agave. That
which
you
tends to have a little more sugar,
well.
correct, Mark? I think the pencas has a little bit more sugar, but yeah. So you have to have a balance, though. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so.
And the pencas, you don't want to stick in your mouth and eat. You just want to pull on them. Otherwise, you get a bunch of fiber in you.
Yeah.
But the corazon, you could eat the whole thing. You don't chew it and swallow it. You don't have to work it like you do the fibrous pencas.
Delicious. It's got to be on your bucket list. That's got to,
Every time we go visit a distillery, I always, if they're cooking, I go, do you mind? And they're like, absolutely not. Go ahead, help yourself. And I'm like,
Yeah, one of the last times, I don't know, and you weren't with it, but one of the last times I went, I made sure I got some extra, and Jose's mom really likes it. So I brought extra, and I gave it to her, and she was so excited. Because, it's very rare that you can get this stuff, unless you visit the distillery. So I brought it to her, and she was, oh my God, thank you. And she's eating it and everything. I mean, it's just so good.
It is good.
I always bring some extra back and leave it in the fridge, and go to it. You can't let it sit too long. It'll start to ferment.
When you talk about nectar of the gods, that's truly nectar of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Cordoza says I have to buy a bottle first, or I'll just be a poser with a t. Yeah, you're not getting a T-shirt unless you at least buy some bottles. So you won't be a poser. You'll just be somebody without a T-shirt. So we're not going to send a T-shirt to somebody who hasn't tried the tequila yet.
Yeah.
Todd says it doesn't matter that Cazcanes Distillery is small because it's the best. I agree. I agree with
Thank
Todd.
you.
And
If
he
you're
said the
ever
hard
down
work
there, Todd, let
shows.
us know.
I agree it does.
Yeah. Anybody? I mean, if anybody's visiting, we can arrange tours or something. I mean, we're not producing all the time. Again, we're small, so we produce when we buy. We find the right agave, and then we produce. So, but yeah, I mean, if anybody, you can always email us and let you know if you want to visit us.
Cordoza says this is stimulating convo like a coast-to-coast talk radio show. I hope it's not too stimulating for you, convo.
Coast to coast talks about all Bigfoot and UFOs and was that where we're going?
It's a chupacabra where we come from. Chupacabra, is it real or is it just a legend?
Sucking on cows and doesn't chupacabra like suck the blood out?
It sucks the blood from the goats. Nobody talks about the chupacabra. So yes, they do sell it in California, and it's delicious. It's like candy.
Where'd you find it?
Vallarta has it, he says.
Really?
Vallarta.
Okay, I gotta make a trip down there.
I've bought it from the Mexican markets before.
I wonder if it's cooked the same way though. I gotta try it there and see if it's the same as getting it down in Mexico.
Oh, it's good. I've bought it at the Mexican market before.
Because is it good? Because they probably cook it in a regular oven, right? They don't have an Orno in the back of Vallarta, so it's like they don't have an autoclave.
No, but they don't cook it at Vallarta. They get it, I think.
Right, but where are they cook? I mean, are they importing it from Mexico? You know what I mean? It'd be interesting.
Well, Orno is just Spanish for oven.
I get it, but I'm talking about a steam brick oven.
I'm not sure how they cook it.
Yeah.
But they probably use
probably
some
putting
kind
it in a
of
combi oven or something.
steam
You know what I
oven.
mean? A standard industrial oven for kitchens.
Yeah.
Like a steam oven
A
or a regular
cochina.
oven. Yeah.
Hey, Shaman, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Hey, he says, thanks, Mark, for making Monday my favorite day of the week. This has been great. Well, good. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed John Paul sharing his brand with everybody. Cordoza laughs because he said this chupacabra cock, I think, is...
Is chupacabra what? Comment? What?
The chupacabra talk, I think, is cracking him up because he was talking about how it's stimulating conversation. It's like, we have a sighting. Let me see if I can do a good voice like that. Hold on. We have a sighting. No.
Says, we have a sighting of the chupacabra. I am the chupacabra. I've come for your goats.
We're going down a rabbit hole right here. Yeah. Remember that show In Search Of? The Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy.
Host? Yeah, it's going to start talking about the chupacabra or UFOs.
I remember the Loch Ness Monster episode that we saw. It was very good.
They did Bigfoot too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody started us on this coast to coast thing, so I don't know.
That's Cordoza.
Okay.
It's all his fault.
Cordoza must be arrested for getting us off topic and talking about chupacabra and not tequila.
What does anybody have any opinions on sharing the information with batches? Is that something that somebody would like to see?
What do you guys think? Do you want to see when you scan a QRC code on a bottle that you see all the information about the batches from their website? Is that something you guys like to see? comment and say yes if it's something you're interested in. Cardozo wants us to talk about the Wolfman. I'm Wolfman Jack. I don't know if you even remember Wolfman Jack.
I remember him.
Oh, God, Wolfman Jack. Let me see. So, Alejandro says, what does he say? He says, same Todd, I'm down with like 1/4 of the Blanco, and I'm feeling it really good now. He's in his happy place.
Nice.
And they wonder why I say tequila is a happy spirit. It's like, drink a couple glasses of the Cazcanes 108 proof, and you'll see what I mean.
You're feeling great. Big smile on your face.
So Alejandro was interested in the QRC code, knowing about the batches thing. And Cardoza's still laughing about Chupacabra, I think.
All right.
I remember in Mexico and going, saying something about Chupacabra, and everyone was like, shh. I was like, what? I'm like, don't talk about the Chupacabra.
Really?
I was like, oh, shh. We don't talk about the Chupacabra. I'm like, okay, fine.
It's real. He'll get you.
Get your goats.
What is it, like the Candy Man or something? Who was that? Do you say their name or something and they appear?
Yes.
What is it? Is it like the
3 times in a mirror. Don't
That's
do it.
Beetlejuice too, right?
Beetlejuice. Shaman says he'd absolutely love the QR codes. He ends up looking it up anyways, but he can't find it because it's not available.
You can't find it. Yeah, this is like I just had them put together all this information, and I've got spreadsheets and I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Some of it doesn't matter, but it would be really interesting to like distill it down and put the information out there. I think. I mean, I kind of nerd out on that stuff, so I think it would be cool to see that. I mean, I'd like to see it on other brands, and I think it'd be fun to see it on ours. So,
someone should create an app called Agave Geeks.
Agave Geeks.
Yeah, and it could just be like ultra geeky information on agave batches and stuff.
Could be, but I mean, people would have to compile that data too, right? I mean, it would have to be where you really have. I mean, some of these brands couldn't do it. What are they? I mean, they're pooling all their agave from all different sources, and I mean, there's no way they could do it unless they made it up. But if you're going to do it legitimately, it's a lot of work and make sure you're getting that information. I mean, so you'd only do it if you really cared. Most don't.
Yeah. So Cardozo thinks we should create a tequila and call it Chupacabra.
I knew that was coming. I did it. I totally
Have
did.
you tried the new Chupacabra Añejo? It makes you turn white. It's so good.
It's got a little bit of a bite to it.
It sucks the life out of you, but it feels so good. Oh, God. You guys are getting crazy now. Come on. So Alejandro says, I need to hurry up with the tour of the distillery, Mark. I want to know how my favorite brand does the sweet nectar of the gods. I will have the distillery tour up soon here. I'll get it done for you guys. So Todd's interested in the QRC code, I don't think he means that he wants us to make a tequila named Chupacabra. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Cardozo's like, he's set on looking for a tequila named Chupacabra.
Too funny.
Oh, you guys were having too much fun here. It's almost illegal. I need a little bit more extra in here. You got a little more time, John Paul? Can you go another half hour?
If you let me take a break real quick here, yeah.
All right, let's let John take a break, and we got more questions for him. We'll come back.
Be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
He's got to go see a man about a horse. So what do you guys think? Good information? You guys happy with what we're sharing so far? Comment, let me know. Don't forget to click that like button too. Lots of good information. And if you're not a member and you want to ask a question, you have something that's bugging you want to comment on, make sure you join. It's $9.95 a month, and you guys can join and ask questions of John Paul. And we'll have other people from other brands and stuff coming on here really soon. So you guys can be a part of that. Otherwise, you'll be watching from the outside. It's only $9.95 a month. It's like 2 Starbucks coffees. It's nothing. All right, so Seamus says he loves the conversation. So far, everyone's saying they're loving what's going on. The Christmas wish list, Cazcanes XA. It doesn't need to be Christmas. It's very affordable. And Alejandro says everything's been great. Seamus says he loves the conversation. So good. I'm glad you guys are happy. We'll wait for John Paul to return, and then. What other questions you guys want to ask? I wish you could like it 100 times too, Cardoza. I'm glad you're enjoying this. I'm glad we're giving you guys content that's worth the price of membership and your support. And I do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. And we got lots of great stuff for you guys, for the members. So you guys will enjoy it. All right, so Shaman's got a question, but he only asked it for one word. So let me see what he says. He said, Mark and Hal. I'm sure he's going to type the rest of it out here. What you working on, the Hoven?
I'm doing the Repo right now.
A Repo, okay.
Yeah.
I have my Repo on the display case, but I haven't opened it.
Did you open it yet?
No, I'm going to do it for the review.
Yeah, just save it. I just wanted to move to the Repo real quick here.
I have Añejo coming too this week because I ordered some more bottles of the XA.
Let's clean my glass out a little bit here.
Shaman wants to know how many bottles of the XA we grabbed. We grabbed all of it.
Yeah.
Every last bottle.
It was a small batch, but it's moving quick. So if it's something you have any inkling that you want to get it, I would definitely jump on it because once it's gone, it's gone.
Matter of fact, our next big order, because we went through our first batch of cases already, and our next big order of cases comes in tomorrow. And those will be going out. And so far, of those cases that we ordered, 3/4 of them are sold.
3/4?
So, yeah. So we're going to have to be placing another order for the rest of the cases here probably soon.
Yeah, I'll talk to you, and then we'll just get you to. I probably just take everything that's left.
Yeah,
it's going.
Yeah, it's gonna be gone. And I've stocked up. I've got a case. I ordered enough. I'm like, I'm not gonna miss out on keeping this on it. So
yeah,
I'll
probably have to order some. I don't want to be without it.
Order some of your own tequila. There you go.
That's how it goes, right? I mean, the way the 3-tier system works.
So, yes, the Repo is in fermenting still, but we're out of stock on it right now, right?
No, you don't have it, I don't think.
Oh, we don't have it? No, we have it.
No. I just checked because I was just on there buying stuff from you. There's no Repo on there. But I think we were out of Reposado. We just got it in with this last batch. So when we got in the still strength, the Hoven, we'd been out of Repo for a while. So
that's why.
Repo, that's why you didn't have it. That's why I sent you a bottle of it for you to try. But I think you haven't done a review yet.
We'll stock it up. So we'll have it. We'll order some.
Mm-hmm.
The next order, when we refill whatever we're running low on this stuff, we'll get some Repo too. So we'll have the Repo, Alejandro. How much is the Repo retail? What's the MSRP on it?
$99.
$99.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you an idea how good the Extra Añejo is. Not Extra Añejo, but Hoven And the still strength at $99, it's a good deal considering that the Repo's only 80.
Correct, yeah.
We're giving you a good deal when you buy 2 or more bottles on fermented still.
Yeah.
So Shaman wants to know how many days a week is Cazcanes producing tequila?
Oh, it's not days per week. We just go by batch. No. We're
too small.
We're really small. So we'll produce, I mean, it really depends on, I mean, as demand has increased, I mean, in the last couple of years, it's been going up. So we'll produce, we buy agave, and then we'll produce for, I mean, it'll usually take a week or more just for, you know, the production, like cooking and shredding and fermenting. I mean, that could be a couple weeks, depends on how much we buy. And then there's the bottling, and, you know, and then there's other stuff that's going into barrels. But, I mean, there's always people at the facility. There's always stuff to do, but we're not always producing. So that could happen a handful of times a year. It really just depends, really. Right now, we're looking to buy some more agave right now as we speak, and we'll be doing another production soon, another multiples of batches. But it just really, as the brand picks up and we sell more, I mean, we'll just continue to produce more. But it's we are small batch. When we say small batch, like, for example, I think Terramana says small batch. That's total BS. Like, I don't know what their definition of a small batch is, but we're truly small batch. I mean, I think each batch we buy of, let's say, 20 tons of agave. If we're getting between 700 and 900 liters, I mean, we're lucky, you know. So it just varies. But
well, there's small batch and there's tiny batch, and Cazcanes fits more along the tiny batch size.
Tiny batch, correct? Yeah.
Where G4 is more small batch, where they're doing, you know, 1,500 liters of stuff at one time.
Right, and they're doing it consistently. But I mean, Felipe has many years on us, and he's been doing it, you know, for a long time, and, you know, and same with you know, Carlos. I mean, they've all been doing this for generations, right? I mean, we're relatively new, and so we're still, you know, growing.
And when you guys see, when I do the distillery tour, they have one autoclave, they have one still or 2 stills, they have, you know, 4, maybe 5 fermentation tanks. So they can't produce a lot at a time, where it's like people like Carlos and Felipe. Felipe's got 2 big, massive Hornos that he uses. Carlos has got 5 of them, 5 big Hornos. And so they don't have the facilities to create stuff all the time.
We just upgraded our 7-ton autoclave to a 10-ton. So that was, I don't know if you noticed, I think it was already a 10-ton when you went there.
I saw it, I saw the extension they added to it.
Did you see the extension? Did you notice the door? It just went right to where the door was. So before it had like a little bit of breathing room, and then they extended out just to where it would touch the door. Like so.
Yeah, the roller door comes right down, right in front of it, barely.
Exactly. So we're truly small batch.
Yeah. So Shaman says out of añejo on fermented. Yes, they're out of añejo everywhere. We're out of añejo. Yeah. We're waiting for it to come back into the country. Once it comes in, we'll have more. But
we've got stuff in barrels, but right now it's not ready yet.
I'll be down there with them sampling it, making sure that the añejo is good before it comes back. Hey Todd, thank you for the super chat, the $5 super chat. He said Cazcanes is like dynamite. It goes boom.
I like that. It's pretty funny.
It goes quickly. It does. I wish I had like a explosion sound effect on this thing, but I don't.
You gotta get it.
Yeah, that's next thing. I'll get an explosion sound effect.
Do you have an air horn on there?
I don't. No, I just have like a.
What kind of DJ are you, Mark?
Just a megaphone thing, you know. It's like.
Hello, this is your father. Jason, come out. Get off the babysitter.
Okay, so Alejandro wants to know, any ideas on expanding, getting bigger in the future, or are you liking the small batches?
I mean, right now it is what it is. I mean, you just never know what the future holds. I mean, we'll see.
I'll answer the question, Alejandro, because he really can't, but they're looking to build their own distillery eventually someday. And when they do that, I'm sure they'll have bigger batches.
I don't know what Mark's talking about. I don't know
what happens amongst the membership stays amongst the membership.
This is his 108 proof Cazcanes talking right now. Here.
It's the XA. I'm drinking the XA now. It's extra information for extra new.
I just moved to the repo.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got that. Look at that.
And this was a good suggestion with these Denver and Liley glasses, Mark. I was doing all these. I mean, these are great glasses too. You know, the Jarrito glasses.
Yeah.
These are excellent as
Stazzle.
well. Mm-hmm. But I do like these.
I like the Denver and Lileys are better. I mean, I still have my Stazzles. I got the high proof and my regular proof.
I have both
Stazzles.
Mm-hmm.
But this Denver and Liley, it just, for me, the Agave just sings out of these glasses. I have somebody in my group that's, I think she
suggested the neat, right? The
neat glasses, yeah.
I wanted to buy. I saw that post that she did, and I was considering buying one of those to try it. I mean, it looked pretty good. It looked like a nice setup. So,
well, it's a cool glass for whiskey, but I don't think it's really meant that much for agave.
Have you tried it?
I had an old neat glass. I wasn't a big fan of it. No. She says the new one's better, but
you never know, Mark. You don't make a judgment until you try it.
She said she would have sent me one, and I would have totally been open for it if she was totally open for trying the Denver and Liley. But she's like, I saw the science, and I'm not interested. And it's like, okay, well, fine.
Well, just, you know what? Then do a swap. But the only problem is these.
We're not interested in your science either.
Well, these are like $40, and I think those neat ones are $20. Aren't they cheaper?
They're less expensive, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'd be willing to try. I looked at that, and it looked nice. I'd be willing to try one.
It's weird shaped.
Yeah.
I'd try it too, but I really love my Denver and Liley glasses, and I got $120 invested in the 4 that I
I know. I bought, I don't remember how many I bought. I've already broke one, gave one away. I think I need to get more already. So
Shaman wants to know, what are your thoughts on a celebrity that would want to attach their name to the brand? Well, just so you know, Shaman, there's a celebrity that's already have their name attached to the brand, and that's Colin. He works in Hollywood. He's kind of a celebrity in the Hollywood world as being a key grip, right? Key grip?
Yeah, he's a key grip, correct. Yeah, he's been
key grip in Hollywood, so he's a celebrity.
I think he's ready to retire soon. He might just start doing tequila full time. Like go down and he loves Mexico, so he might be down there a lot. So
he's a total wine guy too. So he's the kind of guy you can hand him a bottle of wine, and he'll tell you what vintage, where it came from, what kind of grape they used, whether it was a rainy day or sunny day that they harvested the grapes, and
he's not really exaggerating. I've told this story before too, but one of my other relatives is a wine snob, and he loves wine. Like his vacations are centered around wine. Like everything has to do with wine. He says that there's not a bottle of wine that he's ever drank that he doesn't remember and can't tell you about, and I 100% believe it. So he brings usually at least 3 bottles of wine to every family function, wrapped in paper bags, and he gives them to Colin, and he calls this game Stump the Colin. And he has Colin taste the different wines. And Colin, with 90 to 95% accuracy, will nail the vintage, the year, like where it is. And he'll say, oh, it tastes like this might have been a drought year, so this must have been, and I don't know what, but like, oh, this is 2016. You know, and it's great, and he nails it. And my other relative goes, man, how do you do this? How do you do it? But Colin also grows his own grapes, produces his own wine. I mean, he just has an amazing palate, amazing nose. So it's amazing to have him on the team and be able to, like, you know, bounce ideas off of him and have him, you know, taste the stuff and like, hey, Colin, what are you tasting? What do you think? What do you like? I mean, and if he likes it, I mean, he'll always say, like, can't always guarantee it's going to taste exactly the same, but I'll guarantee you it'll be delicious. You know, so That's it's kind of where we're at.
It's funny because I think I met Colin at Mammoth the first time, right?
You met him. That's before I didn't even know you then at that point.
Yeah.
So you met him up there. Yeah.
I was working at the Margarita Festival, and I was working for G4. I was pouring G4 up there and doing education on tequila and agave spirits and walking people through it. And Colin kept coming up and tapping on the shoulder going, "Hey, psst, you got to try this stuff. It's really good." I'm like, "Okay." And so I try it. What is it? So, it's Cazcanes. I'm like, "Oh, this is really good. You got to do a review of it. I've seen your review channel." And so the whole night, while I'm sitting there with G4 pouring for other people, he keeps coming up to me with Cazcanes little cups, and I just was getting hammered on the 100 proof Cazcanes Blanco.
I think that was probably the only expression we had at that point in time, right?
It was. You only had the Blanco at the time, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we started with a Blanco 2000. That might have been, 2017-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2000. So that was the year we won the double gold for San Francisco Wine and Spirits.
Right, you had the double gold thing on your sticker on your bottle.
That's when Julio came down, because Julio was on the panel.
That's right.
He was one of the judges.
I don't know if I told you guys the story. I think I said it in the review, but Julio Bermejo, the main guy from Tommy's, he's like the big cocktail guy from there. His parents actually own the restaurant. But Julio is known for creating the Tommy's Margarita. But he's also a judge at the San Francisco Spirits Contest. Conversation. And he, as a judge, tasted Cazcanes and was so impressed that he literally, after the competition, jumped on a plane, flew down to see their distillery, and visited them and said, "I just judged your tequila in a competition. I was so impressed. I wanted to see what was going on here at the distillery." And then he
the way I hear the story was that he's banging on the door to the distillery, and they're going, "Who's this? What's going on?" And he's, "I want to see what's going on. I want to see what's in." And then Jose gets a call, and then Jose has to go down to the distillery, and then he introduced, it shows him around and everything like that. But I mean, that's great. And Julio's a cool guy. I've been up to Tommy's, and
he's super nice.
He invented the Tommy's Margarita, which is a new age classic. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. If you haven't tried it, if you haven't made yourself, I mean, it's pretty easy to make. Just Google Tommy's Margarita, but it's just tequila, lime, and agave syrup. So I think it's kind of how a margarita should be, because you're not adding the orange liqueur to it. You're literally just tasting agave with agave.
It's agave-centric, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think, that's what I need to get from you, Mark, is that good agave syrup.
Oh, the senior Mage.
Yeah, I got to try that.
So good. Oh.
I got to try it, because most agave syrup is made with a diffuser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that particular one that you have is not. It's made traditionally, so that's definitely
Tahona,
try that.
Yeah, and Orno and Tahona. It's so good, but we sold out of it. We're waiting for more to come in.
You're out of it? Oh.
Yeah, we're sold out of it right now. We got more coming in. I have it here, so when you come to visit, I can pour you some here. But we should have it in. What's today? Today's Monday. We should have more in by Wednesday.
Oh, okay. I'll wait.
I'm fermenting still.
Okay, I'll wait and I'll have that.
Yeah, Bonnie, I don't know if she's watching, but Bonnie's bought us out of all of our senior Mage agave nectar. Yeah, she keeps them back up, buying more bottles of it.
Oh, she must make Tommy's margaritas then. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, right? They're so good.
Yeah,
I have 2 bottles in my pantry downstairs. I keep it.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Todd says he's sipping on the Hoven now. So nice. The Hoven's good.
Yeah.
Shaman says he has the new neat glass, Denver and Liley, every time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Shaman wants to know, does Colin have a last name? It's Edwards. Colin Edwards. Mm-hmm. Right? Edwards? I got that right?
That's correct. Colin Edwards, yeah.
And Todd says, does Cazcanes sell used barrel tops? If not, please consider doing it.
What? Used barrel tops?
Yeah, like I have the Corazon right here.
Oh no, we've never done that.
So you can do a barrel top like that and then put your name on it and.
Yeah, we actually buy all of our barrels are virgin to tequila, and then we've given some away when we're done with them. But like Mark knows, but I mean, like a lot of these guys are using their barrels for 35 years or more, and so you'll notice like they're super distressed, super distressed. I mean, an añejo doesn't even look like a reposado in a lot of cases, where we're getting barrels that are never have seen tequila, and then we'll rework them, we'll rechar them, we'll do different levels of char, and that also affects our blending process. So sometimes we'll have a light char, and then we'll have a slightly heavier char, and then but that doesn't always mean that you're going to get a darker color from the heavier char than the light char. Sometimes barrels just do what barrels do, and they're just completely random. So when we pull the stuff out, we have a lot of stuff to work with. So we're able to say, okay, let's take from this barrel and let's blend these, and so on, to get where we want with the flavor and with the color and all that kind of stuff. There's no formula. I mean, it honestly becomes pretty artistic and creative and stuff like that. It's not like some of the brands, I mean, as Mark will attest to, is like, they're literally like, okay, at 4 months or 2 months or 6 months or 8 months or whatever the case, and who even knows if they're really doing what they say on their marketing literature, but typically they'll say, okay, at 6 months we'll pull it out, and that's a reposado. And at 12 months or 18 months we pull it out, and that's an añejo. Where we just have to listen to the barrels. I mean, we just have to look and see what's happening and see where it is. Because if you do it wrong, you could easily over oak, or, I mean, it's just, you just have to be on top of it and really understand what's happening and taste it and try the different blends. So there's no formula per se. And so basically what you asked about the barrel tops, we don't have any barrel tops, because when we're done with the barrels, we give them away. We've just given them away in the past. So,
well, you guys should do some for your swag. See my Corazon barrel top right there.
It could be in the past. It was something where we didn't want to continue to use them, so we just gave them to other distilleries, let them use them, because they don't care. Most people don't care. A barrel's a barrel, and they're relatively expensive, so they just, if they can get a barrel, they'll get a barrel. Where we put a lot of care and attention into our barrels. When we source our barrels, we check them, we smell. I mean, there's a lot to them. If you let barrels sit and dry out, they're not. They could get moldy. They could get musty and stuff. So we check the barrels, and we'll rework them. We'll add a different level of char. So I mean, that's another whole aspect of the aged part of Cazcanes. And Colin's a master at that. So Colin's our barrel master. So we have him. He inspects every single barrel that we buy, and then we work.
You have a Cooper you work with in Mexico?
Yeah, yeah, we have a Coopersmith that we work with. Yeah, and then he gets in there, and I've seen him work. It's not a job I would want to do. He's just covered in soot and sawdust, and I mean, it's just, my hat goes off to him.
Shaman says, yeah, Tommy's Margaritas is the only margaritas. I agree.
Yeah, that's the only way I do them. You know what I did? What was it? I've got to think now what the name of that liqueur is. There's a...
Contro?
No. The one with Ancho Reyes. Have you tried that? Have you tried to put that in a margarita? Ancho Reyes. It's like a chili liqueur. It has like a chili pepper in it, so it has that dark ancho chili in it.
Yeah.
So it adds a little bit of spiciness to it, a little bit of earthiness. It makes a great margarita. If you guys look that up, it's Ancho Reyes, and try that in a margarita.
If you want to try spicy margaritas, try the Tanteo habanero tequila.
I haven't tried that.
Oh.
It's already put into the tequila?
It's infused, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they do I was really impressed with the Blanco. I reviewed the Blanco, and then I have a habanero, jalapeno, and chipotle. I think are the 3 different infusions that they have.
Do you get smokiness on the chipotle?
What's that?
You get a smokiness on the chipotle?
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I got to try this habanero because I'm a big habanero. We grow them here, in my house. Mm-hmm. And I was literally, beads of sweat were just like pouring down my bald head. I was like,
Wait, from the tequila?
Yeah, from the Blanco.
Because I've had, it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed this, but habaneros are not, one habanero doesn't mean another habanero. It's not the same. You can have one habanero that'll literally blow your skull off.
Yeah.
And then another habanero you can eat. I mean, I've had habaneros that they sent me into another universe. I mean, it's like insane. But then you can have other ones where it's just like eating them.
Yeah, when they do the infusion on this, they use the hot ones and they use the seeds too. They grind them all up and they put them all in the infusion. And so it's like, and I just tried a little sip, and literally beads of sweat were pouring off my forehead and stuff. I was like, oh my God.
And did
if you watch the review at the end, I did a little tasting of the habanero. And you can see my head start glistening and like beads of sweat just start coming down. I was like, oh.
So it's probably better for a cocktail.
Yeah, definitely for like a spicy margarita.
or a crash diet.
Yeah. Or if you just want to set your mouth on fire for like 20 minutes without, and then the key is don't drink any milk or orange juice, after that. Just see how long you're going to hold on without your face turning beet red after sipping some of that Tanteo habanero.
You got to throw on a tracksuit and then like drink and then just shed a bunch of water weight, right?
If there's a puddle where you get up, you're like, oh God, where'd that come from? Sweating to the oldies. What's his name? What's the guy's name? The sweating to the oldies guy.
I don't know. You might have me on that one. I'm not sure.
Curly hair.
Oh, are you talking of Richard Simmons?
Richard Simmons, yes.
No, okay.
Small shorts. He's like, come on, ladies.
Yeah, he's got the dolphin shorts.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that guy? Last thing I heard, he was kidnapped or abducted or something, and then showed up later or something.
I don't know. I think he's had a tough go at things. I think last I heard.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're working on 2 hours. I think that's enough time. You guys, everyone's gotten quiet on their comments and stuff. John Pollard and I can sit and talk for hours, so we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you guys for your comments and questions for the members. If you're not a member, join. Literally, it's $2 Starbucks a month. You support the channel, get additional information about some of the tequila brands and some of the things they're coming out with. Don't forget to give me a like for the information I shared. And more importantly, don't forget to subscribe so you know when we go live. We'll be doing a live review on Wednesday and Friday this week. And then next week, we've got some really good content coming up too as well. You don't want to miss out on any of that, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And until next time, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So grab your Cazcanes, it's fermented still, and you'll be good.
Thanks for supporting Cazcanes, and thanks for having me on here, Mark. Appreciate it.
Salute, amigo.
All right. Take care.
Bye, guys.